Welcome to the Bullpen. All right, in the Bullpen today, we have individuals who are former Trump supporters. They're going to talk about what they did not vote for and what they did not see coming also. 2 weeks ago, we covered this couple, a Hispanic couple who voted for Trump twice, okay? They were profiled, detained by patrol agents. The couple was searching for a campsite, okay? Not doing anything illegal. We're going to put the full video in the video description, but I want to make sure that you see some of it here. Here it is.
Right to travel anywhere we want to travel.
Right, you're absolutely right, you do. And I actually have the right and authority to stop you.
And you did, and I told you where we're going. We're not suspicious.
My suspicion
so
is
you're
not being...
continuing your suspicions are not a crime.
Right, but it's enough to
Okay, well, there's not a crime committed here at all.
Well, actually, we just got an alien load.
But we're not aliens.
Alien smuggler. Right, but they're...
And we're not smugglers.
I'm not going to explain the details from...
Okay, you don't have to. I'm just letting you know we do not match your description, so therefore you are impeding in our travel.
You need to understand that arguing is not helping.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm going to exercise every right that I have as an American citizen. You racial profiled us and pulled us over for no reason. We did no illegal infractions, no traffic infractions, and you pulled us over. We've already told you we're not illegal. Exercising our rights. We're not doing YouTube.
This is a detention.
So are you illegally detaining us?
No.
Yes, you are.
You
are illegal detaining American citizens that have already declared their citizenship.
Investigative detention.
Okay, well, why is a dog? What does a dog have to do with our citizen status? Huh? Does it smell if I'm illegal? Does it smell if I'm from a different country?
No.
Oh man!
If we find nothing, you'll go on your vehicle and be on your
There's
way.
nothing for you. No, so I'm just making sure that we don't. I'm letting you know, as our rights as citizens, we do not want to get out. We want to go on the way. I'll open that for you. I got it right here.
Welcome to Indisputable. Former Trump supporters who say they did not vote for this. I have with us George Doilez and Miss Esmeralda Doilez. Thank you both for being on the show. How are you?
Thank you for having us. We're doing okay.
No, I'm sorry you went through that.
Yeah.
I have a law degree, but you don't need to have a law degree to know everything you said was correct. Everything you said was law. And they knew it. They knew everything you said was law. If you could, sir, in your own words, give us the summary as to what happened that day, and then we'll get into some of the policies and politics of it all.
Okay, well, just a quick summary. 2.5 years ago, I was injured in an agricultural accident. I drive farm tractors. And so we've been going back and forth to San Diego for the last 2.5 years for dental appointments. On this particular trip, we were going to veer off and explore a campsite in a town, Jacumba, and different areas there. And then that's when we were intercepted and pulled over by an unmarked vehicle. And then from the rest, you see what took place in the video. We recorded the whole thing so everybody could see it.
Yeah. They had on masks initially, correct?
Initially when they were in their vehicles, yes. And then as they were exiting their vehicles, they were getting their badges on and tucking in one gentleman was tucking in his shirt, and then the other guy was getting his vest on and his badge. And then that's when they approached the vehicle, and then we started recording.
Now, according to them, they had the right to approach you because of what?
The original statement was that there was an illegal alien on the loose. And that was their reasonable suspicion to, I guess, get me and my wife. You could see in the video, I declared several times, we don't match your description. We're not doing this. I even gave him the phone number to the dentistry that we were going to so they could call and confirm. But apparently that just didn't fly with him. And so we were basically, all of our stuff was rifled through, thrashed. They scratched our vehicle with their canine. We made several attempts to contact the agencies in San Diego, the sectors, and they were not letting us to speak to anyone. They're giving us websites, and that's about it to follow through. And I mean, they offended us in flesh. They should be able to be accountable in flesh as well, and not send us through the computer system. And so that's what we're doing now. I mean, reaching out to people, just letting them know this can't happen. This can't go forward. This is wrong. This is wrong.
I'm going to go to Ms. Doilez because obviously you can see what possibly could happen in such a moment. What was going through your mind?
I was praying a lot. I couldn't stop praying. I was scared. There's a lot of things that I was thinking that could possibly happen. I was just scared. Even rewatching it right now put me back into that place, and I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's called post-traumatic stress. It's emotional. It's hard to endure. It comes in waves, and I hate that you experience that. Now, I know some people are going to make light of the fact that you at one time supported Trump. See, that's not funny to me. I don't care who you supported. No human being should have endured what you had to endure. The whole reason we fight for the rights of others is because when it comes to true justice is actually blind, not blindfolded. True justice says, I advocate for you, not because of who you supported or didn't support. I advocate for you because it's the right thing to do, and you deserve to have all your constitutional rights intact.
Right.
So I want to get to the policy that has created this atmosphere. We've reported on college students being arrested by ICE. We've reported on mistaken identity and children being arrested by ICE in school zones. We reported on people jumping out of trucks just earlier this week with masks on in a school district where the superintendent of schools had to release a statement to say this is uncalled for and cannot happen in our district. We didn't think this was going to happen. So it's a policy directive. And that policy directive is basically a quota. It's a quota to say, round up people, go to Home Depot, wherever they've had these mandates to go. When you supported Trump, and Mr. Doilez, I'm going to start with you. When you supported Trump, what did you think he meant when he said that he was going to crack down on immigration or undocumented immigration?
Everything that was being fed through mainstream media, he was saying he was going to target the worst of the worst, which was, the little girl that they kept playing over and over, the 13-year-old Jocelyn. Those things get into your head, and it's like, this poor girl and her family, we got to do something. All kinds of things like that were just fed through and we didn't just watch one network. I did. I like to do the whole roundabout and get get my own ideas, because I like to do, that's just the way to do things. Anyhow, so, stuff like that was leading us to my vote for those ideas of the children. Main one was holding accountable all the politicians that abused and little children connected with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, those were promises that went out, and to stick with the immigration thing, he said he was going to get the worst of the worst. To your question, he was going to get the worst of the worst, and that meant those people that did those kind of things to little children, and he was blaming it on the illegal aliens and whatnot. And I mean, that we just felt we had to get involved. And I've never voted in my life up until the 2020, and he didn't even get office. And then the whole thing through mainstream media again was, well, he's the underdog. They've cheated him, and we just fell for it. And it was wrong. Now I look back and I was like, wow, they must have spent trillions of dollars to get so many people, even Mexicans like ourselves, to vote for what's going on. I mean, we didn't see this coming. Nobody could have seen this coming. Him going to churches and schools and sending these masked people. We don't even know if they're law enforcement at this point. They're just masked men armed, kidnapping people, and they could be anybody at this point. All the stuff that they pulled us over with, you can buy on Amazon. Period.
Yeah, and that's a major discussion I'm having right now, that people are literally posing as ICE agents in order to gain entry into homes and assault women. That's happening right now. We've reported on it. Jank has reported on it as well, and there are local reports happening weekly. Ms. Doilez, I'm going to ask you a very similar question. Did you believe that Trump was only going to figure out how to find, as he called it, the worst of the worst, and that was your catalyst to support his presidency?
Yes, he kept saying the worst of the worst. I was just focused on that and all the other, what they were showing on the news, the ones that we were seeing, like how my husband said about that girl, and then also the other girls as well. The worst of the worst. He kept saying that. I did believe it was going to be, I didn't think it was going to be like a police state when you're stopping just to get identification.
What do you believe now? What do you believe about Trump now?
He's a liar. He fooled me.
Mr. Georgia?
I think that's where I think that's where should be everybody's stance, is that he really deceived the nation. He got people of faith. He tied them, into this. He tied so many people into his lies and his web of lies. And then the first day, we knew the first week, we just felt it. It was like a kick in the stomach, especially when he came on television and said the whole Epstein thing was a hoax by the Democrats. It was just, I felt a black cloud come over the world. I was like, this guy deceived the world. And he stole the vote. Nobody stole anything from him. He stole the votes from the people. And we got to do something about it. We have to stand up.
I want to zoom out for a moment. I want to zoom out because I want everyone who's watching this interview to zoom out a little bit, because I think we're all in the forest and we can't see the forest because of the trees that are in front of us.
Right.
You all authentically believed in a particular policy or policies that this man lied and said he would advocate and do for you.
Absolutely.
Now, you got voters' remorse. I've had voters' remorse. And if the truth be known, if you voted long enough, you voted for somebody that you ended up disagreeing with at some tenure of their office. So voters' remorse happens. And we believed in whatever lie they told in order to get our support at that time. So I want to demystify this thing about how folks can't be tricked. Hell, everybody can be tricked. And if you believe you're above being tricked, you're already tricked.
Yeah.
You have to be aware and conscious of this thing on a regular basis.
Right.
You had a strong belief in some morally based policies. They played that story over and over again for you because they knew what it would do. It would eliminate the talking points based in fact. It's a fact that undocumented immigrants per capita commit the lowest amount of crimes of any demographic in the United States of America. That's a fact. But they don't want to talk about that fact, so they'll tell you a story. And that story, they will repeat the story and indoctrinate you emotionally to the story to where they can then sell you a policy without giving you facts. They will give you a narrative because you can't argue with a narrative, but you can argue these other dynamics or dimensions of data, of arrest record, et cetera. So they say, okay, we're going to avoid all that by giving you a story. And then they repeat the story. Well, what does that do? Well, that story gets embedded into your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind becomes the relayer to your conscious action. All of these things are quite normative, right? It's just a marketing ploy is what it is. So
Exactly.
my question is, let's get into the Epstein thing, because that I saw the immigration thing coming. And the reason why I saw it coming is because when he said mass deportation, in my understanding of the rules, you don't have enough worst of the worst in that group to create mass deportation, unless you're talking about doing exactly what he's doing now. So I had a different interpretation of what mass deportation meant. And it seems that my interpretation was more aligned to what his actual agenda was. But let's go to the Epstein thing, because that, I think, shocked everybody. Because he literally hired people that were hardcore, show me the Epstein files. His son retweeted, we need to come out with the Epstein files, and talked about it publicly. He talked about releasing the Epstein files himself during a major interview. So Mr. Doilez, I want to go to you first about the Epstein thing. How did that affect you, and what was the impact of that to the movement or the support of Trump overall, in your opinion?
It was, I can't say, the only thing I can say is a kick to the gut. Me coming from a family of where things like this happen and they cover it up. They cover it up to protect the image of the family. This is exactly what our government is doing to the people. And we can't stand for it. This will continue to go on until a chain breaker comes in and stops it. And we, the people, have to be those chain breakers, because we can't allow this no more. Because the damage that these men do to children, or whoever's involved, men and women, it echoes through generations and generations and generations until some people like us come up and stop it. And that's what we got to do. He ran on that. That's what I held deeply to me, because of things that I've seen in my lifetime throughout my childhood, and which has affected me throughout my life. I thank God that he was able to change that all around. But, we have to all, as people, look into our inner child and fight for that child right now, because these people have done some evil things. They waved the evidence in front of our faces, and then they said it was a hoax. Now, if that doesn't wake up every Trump supporter now, you are blind, and you need to wake up, and you need to really, really evaluate what's going on in this country, because we got to fight for the kids. We got to hold these men accountable for what they did. I don't care who it is. There's nobody that deserves protection for this kind of behavior. They need to be exposed, arrested, and punished. That's all I got to say about that.
Ms. Doilez?
What's the question again? I'm sorry.
Just about the Epstein.
Right, the Epstein debacle, where he basically said, Epstein who?
That was that was our reason for that vote, was that Epstein list. For them to point all these people for that, to release all those files for us to see that he was going to, like he said, he was going to release everything, waving in front of the White House. That made me upset. That kind of made me think like, oh, they're not going to show anything right there. Are you waving, smiling, saying Epstein, and then nothing? I was mad.
When we analyze everything, right? Because, brother, you said something so powerful.
Thank you.
I think I get it. I wondered, I said, why this thing? Because you guys, when I say you guys, I mean Trump supporters, you guys have had to deal with a lot of personality issues of this man in order to still support him, and a lot of policy dynamics that maybe some folks that you are friends with, they will say, listen, this thing hurts me, and you still supported him. But when it came to the Epstein thing, I saw this breakaway starting to happen. And I said, well, my goodness, they were authentic. I'm talking about people that have been longtime Trump supporters with major political shows and podcasts, and folks like yourself. You all said, this is the breakaway point. And we're not playing about children. And you said something just now, Mr. Doilez, that I think I get it. I think I understand it better. You said, we have to protect the children because of the inner child in us. See, I see what that means. I understand inner child psychology, that we become the people who would have protected us.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
Whatever vulnerability we've experienced. I was a foster kid. So I get up every morning remembering my inner child and that there are folk out here who need family structure, they need advocacy, they need food, they need housing, they need these things, they need education.
Absolutely.
They don't have it
Yes.
handed to them, right? Well, that's my inner
Yes.
child. So I've grown up to become the man that would have protected my child's state. You have done the same. And Ms. Doilez, you have done the same. And I believe it's a whole lot of MAGA supporters who made the Epstein thing their thing because they wanted one opportunity to protect the child that they used to be and did not have protection themselves.
Absolutely. 100%.
So now you see he's not even willing to do that.
Yeah. And we all need to wake up to that fact. We all do. We all have to self-evaluate at this point, and this should be the hill that we stand on. You know, we should not take any more from our government until they are held accountable. They have to be held accountable.
Where do you go from here, Mr. Doilez? I don't know if you're connected to other Trump supporters who feel like you or you've had contact with them, but where do you go from here to hold the government accountable and in particular, the man who fed you a bunch of lies to get your support?
We still, we have other interviews lined up, and we're just going to keep speaking, until God closes the door. We're going to keep walking through them that are open, and let people especially, I don't like to put things in boxes. We are Mexican, but that's something that the government puts down to all of us to create racism and stuff like that.
Yes.
I don't hate my neighbor. The government hates my neighbor, not me. I don't hate blacks. I don't hate whites. I love them all. It's the government that hates people like me and hates people of different color. We're God's people. Down, that's the bottom line. We're God's people and we're all one, and we all need to come together because no matter what race we are not each other's enemies. The enemy is the ones that are doing the things to us that they're doing now. And we're going to keep talking. We're going to keep, as God opens doors, we're going to keep using our voice and our experience and keep going forward. And I believe avenues will open to where we will stop them one way or another.
We will. Mr. Doilez, some people will call what you're talking about Christ consciousness. It's called unity consciousness. Understanding that regardless of what our epidermis and skin complexion may be, we all came from the same place. Fundamentally, we all came from the same place, wherever that place may be.
Right.
And if you're God's child, I'm God's child. But in order for me to know that, I must believe there's a divine spark inside of me. And if I know that there's a divine spark inside of me, I must know there's a divine spark inside of you. Has to be.
Yeah.
We all came from the same place. Miss Doilez, this is obviously an interesting turning point for the Trump support. I mean, he literally came out and said he doesn't even want your support if you're still talking about Epstein. He made the Epstein thing seem very minute compared to other things that he does. This is a man who will tweet about Snoop Dogg. And he's telling you that the Epstein thing is beneath him now. Where do you go from here, not only in your advocacy as you're doing today, but also in your politics, personal politics?
I don't know. So I have people reaching out to me that they tell me that they've ended their friendship with another person that was for Trump. I've had people reach out to me saying that they made the same mistake too. I'm talking to them, trying to get that through because we're all trying to figure out what to do from here. Like my husband said, we're just speaking out the truth. And that's me helping out these people that are reaching out to me. That's how I'm going to help them out, give them more advice.
I want you to be encouraged because I know you got to be getting it from both sides, hardcore MAGA folk and folk that are on the left who said, your fault, told you so. I want you to be encouraged. I want you to be encouraged because what you're doing is providing light to the world. Now, what is light? Light is wisdom, truth, and information. That is what you're doing. So today, you are a light bearer. Regardless
Thank you,
of
Doctor.
what anyone may say, you're a light bearer today. Okay?
Thank you, doctor. We appreciate that.
I mean it from the bottom, top, middle part of my heart. I appreciate everything you all do. I hope to have y'all back on the program. I'm sure there will be more to update. Is there anything in closing you would like the audience to know?
Just God bless you all, and do that evaluation within each other, in yourselves, and do the right thing. Do the right thing. We know what the right thing is. We don't have to be told by the government. You know what the right thing is inside of you. Do that.
To err is human.
Mm-hmm.
To err is human. To correct yourself is divine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anyone take that away from you. I appreciate you all. And we'll have you back on the program very soon, okay? Good luck to your endeavors. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.